So, again, this is Vince with Listings to Leads, and this is our weekly Facebook call. And what I'd like to ask, I don't recognize some of you. I'd like to know kind of how long you've been with us, what tools brought you to us, and if you've run a Facebook ad, how many of you run, and have you had any success, or have you not had success? And if you haven't had success, please give me some feedback on what do you think's not working, And so I'll get started. If you wouldn't mind putting that in the chat panel there in the GoToMeeting, we'll want to make sure and address those. I think those responses really help everybody think a little more clearly about this. Before we log in, whenever I do this call, I always like to show everybody where the resources are so that when you're doing this yourself, you feel like you've got some tools to use, right, to do it right. And the first tools you have are right here. When you before you even log in, scroll down. Scott collates the best ideas, puts together the best ideas from our mastermind group. And our mastermind group is filled with our clients that are using our tools, and they're using all of our tools. Sometimes a lot of them are using them on Facebook, a lot of them are using them in print advertising, and just door knocking, all kinds of ways of using our tools. But what they do in our mastermind group is they share what the actual thing looks like, right? What it looks like, what they did, what tool they were using. And that's really the beauty of our system and our platform, is that we've got a lot of tools. And you have access to them if you're a client, and if you're not, you should sign up. And when you have access to them, that's great, but how to use them and how to use them effectively is really the most important thing. And that's why you're on this call. And that's why I want to point out that on this blog, there are many blogs. You should actually scan through this every once in a while. But I like this one here, 31 seller leads in 2 days, because it's very clear. There's a couple things I want to point out in this message, okay? One, this client ran the ad on his community page, not his branded business page, okay? You should be testing that. You should be A/B testing. Does your real estate page work better, or does your community page work better? Also, this language, the real key, one of the most important things, there are a few important knobs or dials, so to speak, to turn when you're running Facebook ads. And the most important, I think, is the language you write in the ad and the picture you use. These things get people to click. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can read it, but the language on this ad says 360 homes sold in Frisco in June. Highest sold price was $965. Now see what your home is worth free. That's a compelling story that homes are selling. Here's the high. This is going to affect you. There are many other ideas of that, and they are shared inside of our mastermind group. But that language right there works for a lot of people across the country. So that's why I pointed out to you. Before you even log into Listings to Leads, there is a lot of useful information. When you do have an account, you log in at the top right, as I'm doing now, and you will be in, and then this pop-up page will pop up, right? And this will have some useful information. There's also places to sign up for classes down below, and then you can click past it. On the whole resource front, Facebook advertising, if you're coming to us, and that's what this class is about today, if you're coming to us because you're interested in landing pages and Facebook advertising, everything in that area is covered on this page. And you should get familiar with everything on this page, especially this video, and especially this learn how to do an ad in 2 minutes. That's really, those are the basics that you need. And then right here in the center, it says click to join the mastermind group. By all means, you must join our mastermind group. There is a ton of valuable information being shared by clients. You can see here, somebody had written Natalie 9, seller leads in 15 hours. Click through the comments on there. She actually puts the ads up to show you what she wrote. And that's really, I think, so generous of our clients. I think they do that because we do as much as we can to create tools. And then they're sharing with the rest of us, hey, this is what I did and here's how it worked. So These are the kinds of resources right up front as well. There's a contact support page where we have 3 support people. If you ever have questions concerning this or anything, put the questions right here in this box. I know you're going to think it's faster if you leave a message over here. This is just a trap to annoy you. I hear so many bad things about that. Everybody watches this mail group right here. It's faster than calling. You call over here and you get the same kind of runaround. Everybody responds to this. If you have questions, put it here. It'll just save you some frustration. Okay. Oh, there's Barb. Okay. I see. Okay. Okay, so Jeff says 1 week with L2L Facebook. Very good. Brand new L2L offer for my brokers, so just learning. Well, welcome, Patty. There is a learning curve with our system. And if you apply yourself to learning what we do, you're going to find that this is a very powerful platform. Running ads, experimenting split tests, 99 are not putting in their info, but I'm not surprised at that. A noodle about follow-up strategies would be great. Maybe a mastermind conversation. Okay, that's interesting. You can chat with Scott on that one, Bob, or Barb, that. But I will tell you, because what Barb just raised in this message is 99% are not putting their info in. That's a high number. I'm really surprised at that. But when we get into Facebook advertising, you know, or online advertising, broadly speaking, there is nobody wants to give up their contact info, right? And so the key is you write the ad as compelling as it can be, and if it's compelling and it's like, I'm going to get this now, then people will give that information to you. Still, in my kind of history, 80 to 90% of people will walk away. And we know that, and that's been the case ever since we began doing this. And so we went and got a system called Cole Information, and we call it the partial to full lead converter. And you can see this green button here. And I'll click on it here. And you can actually subscribe here. So this is Cole Information. If you don't know Cole Information, it's like an online phone book for homeowners. And I'm going to go through the process right now of getting a landing page set. And you'll see in the landing page that the first question is, what's your address? And the second is like, okay, does this look right? And then great, we have your valuation, but give us your contact info. And that's where everybody wants to walk away, because they don't want to be spam from you and they don't want to be called by you and things like that, right? So this gets a lot of information, 60 to 70% of the time, cell numbers and last sale price, things like that. So that's a really valuable tool. It is an upgrade and it's $30 a month, but boy, it's really valuable for people that are really focused on getting seller leads. So this is our landing page section. If you're new to us, you come here, you probably have a few areas where you're trying to generate leads, right? You don't just, very few I think are building your business in one town. So every town that you have, like me, I'm in Lafayette, so I would type in Lafayette. I'd spell it right, and I would just click save. And that would create a Lafayette page under every one of these buttons, right? And then, but next door is Walnut Creek. So I do that and I click save, and I have a Walnut Creek page under every one of these buttons. And then I have Alamo, and I have Pleasant Hill, all those areas, right? There might even be an area, you probably don't know Lafayette, but there's a really awesome area called Release Valley. Beautiful, homes, and really private kinds of properties. And if you want to build your business in a particular area, well, then you just create that and save it just the same way. And then once you do that, you see all of these landing pages. We have many landing pages designed for seller lead capture. What is your home worth is obvious. Property valuation plus one, growing family, empty nester, property valuation 2. And you should really be testing all these, because in some areas, I'll click on property valuation 2. This is a really boring kind of look of a landing page, but it is a landing page, and it is designed for seller lead capture, okay? And the reason I'm going to point it out to you is that this is not the first one agents want to go to. It's actually not the first one I recommend you go to, but I want you to know about it. And I'm going to show you the first one we ever created. What is your home worth? Right here. When we started the company, we had this very quickly. And so let's look at this one real fast. And the reason why I'm saying this is I don't know where you are in the country. You know, I don't even know if you're in the United States. But different things work in different parts of the country. For instance, we've got clients up in Seattle, and we've got clients down in Miami, and if you try to do the same exact thing, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't respond the same. The culture is different, and things are different there. I'm clicking Property Valuation Plus. For some reason, I couldn't get what is your home worth to open. And this is my Lafayette landing page. I'm going to try this other one again. I don't know why it's not opening. What is your home worth? Maybe something got stuck. Yeah. So this is our, I'm going to click on center mode. This is our original what is your home worth page. You'll have your banner at the top, and it's a really simple form, right? And then this is what is your home worth as well, okay? And then this is the new fancy one that everybody likes. But I'll tell you, for some people, this one gets more and better leads. And for some people, this one gets more and better leads. But this is the one that I like, we really like, and we've worked on it over time, and we fine-tune it. And this is where I definitely want everybody to start. So if any of you are new, if one of you has not run an ad today, and that's obviously not you, Barb, who would you give me the city that you're in, the city and state? If you have not run an ad, let's just start fresh. And just put it in the chat panel. So if you have not done this before and you want to, let's just do it together. All right. All right. I see somebody there. Naples, Florida. Naples. I'm going to do, I've done a lot in Naples, Patty. But I'll show you kind of what I have some stuff there. Let's do Encinitas. I don't even know where Encinitas is. I know it's in SoCal. I'm up in Northern California. Las Vegas, yeah. Las Vegas. Okay, this works, totally works in Las Vegas. But let's do Encinitas. I haven't done that one before. So, you're brand new to the system. You come here and you type in Encinitas. Encinitas, right? I think I spelled that right. And click save. And when you click save, you can't see it. There's a little wheel spinning up on my browser there, you know, kind of giving you the idea that some work is getting done. And work is getting done. We're creating an Encinita landing page under every one of these blue buttons. So you're going to have a landing page for FSBOs, a landing page for expireds. You're going to have a landing page for homes for lease and condos for lease. And you're going to have, and there's this really big message that you can't read right here that says we've created a series of landing pages for you, right? So that means you've got something under everyone's. But for all new clients, like I did show you, we've got multiple kinds of landing pages to capture listing leads. But for all new clients, this Property Valuation Plus, I think, is the best one to begin with. So let's go there together and let's do that. Now this is my Lafayette page. I think I showed it to you. Looks like that there. But when you first create your page, it does not look like that. It's got our fancy, generic, suburban background picture. Now, I'm born and raised in California. I may have been in Encinitas, but I kind of doubt it. And I don't think that looks like Encinitas, just because I kind of know California. So we got to take care of that first. I'm not typing in the farm field. Should I do it for every area? Yeah, I would do that for every area, Barb. Yeah, I would always do that. It depends. If you don't want a landing page in every, if you don't, you know, if you've got a farm area, what Barb is doing is she's clicking the button and then just creating the area right there. If you want to save yourself some time and put your every area here, and don't do it now, Barb, because then you're going to double up. This creates a landing page. Now I have a FSBO landing page for Encinitas. Barb's going to just do it if she decides later on, hey, I really want to do FSBOs. Well, she's going to have to retype it in the FSBO page, right? And that's why it's just more efficient to do it this way. So back where we were, here's my Encinitas page. And this is not the most compelling thing, especially if I live in Encinitas. So the first thing I got to do is, how do I get that to look like my like Encinitas? And so let's go look over here. Let's go to Encinitas. Hey, I did spell it right. California. And if you could, whoever wrote Encinitas, is there? Oh, I see a nice landmark right there. I see it. So let's write. I'm on Google. I'm going to click on images. And I'm going to click on downtown because I don't really know, this area, but clearly this is, I know we're now dealing with Encinitas. Over here, I think under tools, underneath the bar, when you click that, it gives size. So you got to go size and go to 4MP. What this means is it's going to show us pictures that are large enough to fill up that page. Now, you could also think about usage rights, labeled for reuse or reuse with modification. This means that you can use this, right? And people aren't going to get offended. Otherwise, the risk is you do it or you use something and it's got and it belongs to somebody else, and hopefully not another realtor, right? So this I now know is like Encinitas. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to save this as my desktop, on my desktop, and I'm going to save it here. Yeah, that's fine. And wait, what? Let's try that. That kind of gave me a weird message there. So let's go back to Property Valuation Plus. And let's go down to my Encinitas. And instead of See Landing Page, let's click Edit Landing Page. And click the background file. And god darn it, that did not work. Why did I do that? Sorry, guys. I saw that error. I don't know if you can see, it says insufficient permission. Insufficient. So save image as, right here. Save. Yes, I want to replace it. Is that going to work? Yeah, okay, that worked. I don't know what I did wrong there the first time, but getting it right now. So you go down to the bottom and you save an update. Okay. And these things, when you save something in listings to leads, I just want to make this this is a general question. It's pretty much instant. We're waiting a couple seconds for it to save because the picture is kind of large. But why I'm saying that is, for some people, they think like, well, if I save it now, do I have to come back tomorrow, or is it doing its thing? No, it's pretty much it. So here's what it looked like just by default. Now when I refresh it, I've got a beautiful thing here of Encinitas in the background. So I know if I put this in front of my market, they're going to know I'm talking about this area. It's not generic, and I'm not going to get, it's going to take away some of the fear of just signing up for a national spam campaign, right? So I see a question here, and please always feel free to ask questions. Okay, difficult to find an image to upload more pages more often. Yeah, Michael. Well, then, you might want to just go to your local area. If you have a smartphone, hold it horizontally and shoot a picture. If it's way too big, right, and he's saying it still does not upload, you might want to shrink it down. And so that's kind of the issue there. So I'm going to point out another thing, and I point this out because realtors always have their idea of what they want to put in the background of their image, of their landing page, right? And I set up the offices around the country. So if you have an office, you want to sign up, you gotta give them, we gotta chat. But when I set up, Coldwell Banker and Summit, New Jersey, and we did this call for their agents, they all took off. And 30 days later, the manager calls me and says, Vince, we're getting all these leads. We're doing this. It's awesome. But the crazy thing is this picture here is the one that gets the most clicks and the most leads. And I always point this out to people because I think a lot of realtors feel like, oh, I want to have a really luxury, $1 million property on the back of this thing. And that doesn't always work. It actually rarely works to put a single house on a seller valuation page. But what I'm pointing out here is this you can see is an old-timey, old-style, railroad car converted into a diner. It's on Main Street in a small town in New Jersey, not even 25,000 people there. And everybody knows this. So when I see this as an ad, it's jogging my memory, and I know we're the same kind of people, right? So you got to think a little bit about that. I don't know much about Encinitas. There may be something much more resonating, but this page here, at least I'm in the ballpark, right? So let's go through this page and let's talk about it. The way it works is if you type in an address, and I'm going to type in my address here, and the next thing that it goes to is a page for confirmation, right? And I call it the buy-in page. So what it does is it shows me a picture of my house, and it says, hey, is this a 3.2 and 1,900 square feet or something like that? Yeah, that's right. And so that's the buy-in. And again, we're trying to make people comfortable. The first part of the comfort was the picture was right. And then now it's like, oh, this is your house that you're talking about that you're interested in. Yes, correct. All right. If you hear that and you see my screen, I actually got a lead from just that address. And that is what we call a partial lead. It is just the address. And if you remember when Barb was talking earlier, she said, oh, a bunch of, 99% of the people leave before giving her the full contact information. And I'll point out another thing. And so I thought that was really high. And I'm going to remind you, because somebody, this is something that most people don't get. I'm going to say it. I'm going to show you when we actually run the ad. But most realtors either are ignoring what we're saying, or they're not listening, or they're whatever. If you run these ads mobile optimized on Facebook, then people on their smartphones are going to see it, and they're going to click it if that's a value to them, right? And this page is mobile optimized. It will work in your smartphone, but it is not nearly as compelling, nor is it as friendly as the way that it happens here. So when you're a new client trying to get seller leads, I recommend this Property Valuation Plus. I recommend you put the right background image on it, and I recommend you put it on desktop only. And I'm going to show you what that means in a moment. But here, what we're doing is saying, yeah, we've got your valuation. What's your contact info? And as I said, 80-90% of people will walk away at this point. That's why the partial to full lead converter / coal information system is a great resource, right? Because now you're getting more contact information from people. And really what you want, if you're a realtor, you want a database of homeowners. And especially a database of homeowners of people who are thinking about selling. They may not sell this week, right? But they're thinking about it. So that is the process of the page. And if you see, I got another lead. It's now my full lead, right? And just as a reminder, if I go back to the landing page dashboard up here, that partial to full lead converter is right here. And you can click it, and you can click subscribe. And if you find like you don't like it next month, you can click unsubscribe. I see some questions, so please lay it on. Let's see. Okay, you don't need the contact. The address is. Yes, I do not know what you're saying. Okay, agree on the mobile optimized comment, but I think it is a big mistake to eliminate iPad. Yeah, I live in an iPad. Yeah, I place my Facebook out. Yeah, because iPad. Barb, you're totally right. So let me give my caveat for when I tell people what I just told you, which is do not put it on mobile. You always have to remember what I already said. You have to test what works in your market. Very frequently, well, not very frequently, but you know, at least once a month, some agent comes to us and says, "Oh, I actually got an email this morning. Got the exact email this morning. I ran it. Facebook tells me I got 100 clicks and I got no leads." Number one response is take it off mobile. And Barb is like, yeah, okay, but Barb, but mobile is iPads, and I totally get that mobile is iPads. And if you're telling me you're getting 99% no leads, I'm going to just tell you take it off mobile and just see how that number changes. Then you're welcome to test it. I can tell you one time when I think iPads or mobile is good is on football Sundays when everybody's like, you know, got their butt on the couch watching the game and fooling around with our iPad. That makes some sense, right? But that being said, that's the first thing I tell people, and that's the first thing Scott tells people. When you run a bunch of ads and Facebook tells you you've got 100 clicks, but you're not getting leads, it's because you're on mobile. That's usually it. It means the owner name is attached to the property and you can do a reverse search. Oh, got it. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Barb. Abaj, you're correct. You can do a reverse search. Barb, yes, you're doing it on mobile. Try doing. How do you take it off mobile? Lou, great question. Let's go do that. Let's go do that. How do I take it off mobile? First, make sure we got our page wired up right. Right? Let's go to the bottom. Let's look at it again. And looks good. I'm going to take us back to our edit page real quick. And there's only one other edit that I like to do here. And this is, you know, Scott loves to throw every random idea that he has into this thing. And it's awesome for confusing all of you. But the only thing I really want you to be aware of is the second line. And the answer that it tells you what it says right there is get your answer here. That's not that compelling. But get your answer in less than 15 seconds is a little more, okay, you know, we're instant. Instant and free and automated, these are compelling concepts for online lead generation, all right? So I've saved it. I want to point out one more thing on this page. And it's great because you won't know what in the world this means. You see this as seller lead gen, email, newsletter, database, and letters, farm, nearby homeowners. I don't know what that means, what gibberish that is. But what I want you to understand, that there's a very powerful tool. If you click this green button, it says view email. This, you're going to start getting leads, right? And you're going to want to follow up with those leads with something. And you can create an instant report just like that. You can type in your letter. I've just got a few, you know, words in here, but everything down below is already created to benefit your business. Notice it says get your home value now, and it says get your free home value now, right? This is actually driving right to the same Encinitas page, okay? So if you're collecting leads in Encinitas, you might want to send something out once a month. That's always reminding them, hey, do you want your home value again, right? You also have the option to say, oh, I want to do that in a print format, because I'm going to show you how to target a zip code on Facebook right now. And if you can target the same zip code in print, well, you're coming at your target market in multiple directions with lead gen designed to capture seller leads all over the place, right? So don't bother trying to read our gibberish. Just click these green buttons and get using these, okay? So this page is now, for me, it's good. The background picture is good. What is my home worth now? Get your answer in less than 15 seconds. This is time to rock here, okay? So what do? We go over to Facebook. And here, if you're distracted, this is a good time to just put your ideas back on this screen, because we're going to run this ad. Up here on the top is a navigation button, right? And there's a little triangle. You click that and you click create ads. And I think I did this last week and something changed. And you know, I got to tell you while we're waiting for this, you got to get back with us at least once a month. if not a couple times a month, because Facebook keeps adding things and changing things all over the place. This section down here, lead generation, this has not been live in Facebook for more than 3 months. Facebook advertising has been around for almost 3 years, ever since they went public, but this did not occur until 3 months ago. When we're trying to get seller leads, listing leads, we don't want to use lead generation. We want to use traffic. All right. And then somebody, Barb, do you remember that? There's a really powerful conversation in the mastermind group regarding conversions, this section here. And I need to talk to Scott about that because I didn't have time to really dive into it. That looks pretty powerful. But the way that we typically do it when we're looking for seller leads is traffic. So let's click traffic. And it says, what's your campaign name? Name it. In this case, I'm going to just call it value. And I'm going to call it Encinitas. And I'm going to call it, what is it? Is it June? I'm going to just say June 6th. I think it's the 6th, right? And you need to name these. Nobody sees it but you. But I'm going to tell you, we want you to run a couple of ads every week. And if you run a couple of ads every week, and that's minimum, you're going to have a lot of ads. And you want to start to recognize which kinds of ads are performing better, what are getting more clicks, et cetera, et cetera. So create that campaign name so that you can review your stuff and learn from it and modify it and make it better. All right. So here's the real power of Facebook. If you've never run ads and you don't know, I know I speak to realtors and it's still at least once a week where somebody tells me, I just don't like Facebook, right? I don't want to do it and whatever. And that's a sad story because 71% of adults are on Facebook in the United States, not teenagers, okay? 71%. And on average, they spend 40 to 50 minutes every day on Facebook. So if you're not thinking about branding or lead gen in this space, you are missing a huge opportunity. And here's why. As I just said, 71% of the people are here. So Encinitas, I'm just going to type in the word Encinitas right here, California. And Facebook is so cool. They're going to say, oh, okay, we'll give you a 25-mile radius on top of that. No, you want to click on current city only. You need to follow these steps because these are different because we're looking for sellers now. We're not just branding. So you want to say, nope, I just want them to live in Encinitas because this page only talks about Encinitas. So they got to live there to do that. If there's a town next door, create a landing page for that town and do it and start over, right? Now, there probably aren't many 18-year-olds who own homes in Encinitas. So, put your minimum age, whatever it is. You can also, there are other demographics, and I don't really dive into that too much. You can do things like homeowners. A lot of people don't because the filter is so tight. You just shoot yourself in the foot and you kind of, it doesn't work. So I kind of ignore that. And definitely if you're a beginner, I would just get the zone right, get the zip code or the city right, get the age right. And then here, Lou asked the great question, how do I get off of mobile? You click edit placements. Facebook by default wants to push your ads everywhere. They don't care if you're going to get leads or not. They just want to push your ads so they can charge you, right? You, however, want leads, and because of this page and trying to get a seller through 3 pages of a form, desktop only is what I recommend. Barb understands what she understands, and that's cool. I understand, iPads and all this and that. I'm just telling you what works time and time again, all right? You want to set your daily budget to lifetime. For every ad that you run, change it to lifetime. Now, when you're running an ad like this, I recommend $30 to $60, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Just let me finish this process and we'll do it. When you run an ad for sellers, start it on Friday, get the right month, and end it on Monday, okay? So this is roughly $10 a day. when we started, our clients were doing $60 for the weekend. That's like $20 a day. And they'd come back with 100 leads in one weekend, and it'd be awesome. I think Scott doesn't like to tell people $60 because he feels like they're going to associate us with a high cost. But when you get 100 leads for $60, people are like, oh my God, I had to turn it off. I had so many leads, I didn't know what to do. And I think that's a great problem to have. I see some questions here, so let's take those. He may have deleted it. I'll post and see. Okay. How do I take it off mobile? So Lou, do you understand how to take it off mobile? We actually we actually did that. We took that, or we answered that there. Okay, so yes. Okay, good. So from here we continue. We've targeted, we've set the budget, and then you got to make sure you use your right business page, right? I got a music one, and I've got whatever nonsense, but I want it on my listings to leads page, right? And then you've got this option. If you're brand new to running your first ad, it defaults you to carousel. And Scott runs a lot of ads. We do a lot of ad placement, and we have found that carousel is just a zero. You're not going to get anything when you do that. Single image ad is cool. Oh, actually, this is the one we want everybody to use, right? Single image ad. You can upload multiple images here, and every time I come back to Facebook, Facebook will show me the ad with the next image. So maybe you want to have different views of Encinitas, right? The ocean view and this and that. And what's really cool about that is Facebook is going to tell you, hey, this waterfront picture got more clicks than all the other pictures you're using. And that's great information for you to learn with and build your business with. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Now here it says the destination, the website URL. That is this page. We want people to go here, and you'll notice that there is some URL. Copy that, okay? And put it here. And then it gives you this blue box down below. Click that, and that's what pushes everything up and starts to make the magic happen, all right? So let's see here. Can you show adding Facebook pixels? Yeah, no. And then Scott, have you ever used Boost? Yeah. Oh, this is Vince. This isn't Scott. We don't really use Boost. We don't talk about it much. And I think Boost is getting more powerful, but I'll show you what it looks like. And there is a reason to use Boost, and there's a reason not to use Boost. The reason not to use Boost is that, I don't remember who asked that question, but when you, if you have 500 friends on Facebook, and they're your friends, right? Your family and old colleagues and this and that, but you want to boost something on your business page. What Facebook does is they allow you to target just the same way we did this, right? I'm going to target people over 21 and Encinitas, and that's it. Well, the boosting allows to target that way, but it also shows the ads to your friends. And you may not want your friends to see that simply because of the fact that they might click on it. And if they click on it, and you might have friends in New York, and you might have friends in other areas that just there's no relevance for this ad to be in front of them. Doesn't matter. Boosting is going to get it in front of those people, and you might be losing money as a result of that. The upside, however, of using Boost is that the language above the photograph and below the photograph is limited in this format. On Boost, you can write a fair amount of stuff and then boost it. So that could be really valuable to you. You got to kind of use it or think of it if it is of value to you. So, like I said, there are a couple of knobs that make or break real lead gen on Facebook. One is mobile. Sorry, Barb. The other is your picture. And we got a cool picture here of Encinitas. And the third one, and I don't know which is more important, these are the three major ones, is that language. Find out your value of Encinitas home now. Excuse me. And you know what? That's some pretty weak language. Do not run an ad with that language. It's just not there, right? It's not happening. We know this. And that's why before we even started this call, I said, hey, you got to go to our mastermind group and look what people are sharing because they're giving you the language that they're writing ads with. And you also, why am I there? Sorry. You also got to go to our blog before you even log in, right? I don't know if you all got here, but you don't even have to log in. You just scroll down. The first post has a great language, has great idea of what to write there. I'm going to give you this one because it said the title of it says 31 seller leads in 2 days. The concept here is so dead simple and it works for everybody. So I'm just going to go here and copy it. It says 360 homes sold in Frisco in June. And this was the high, and get your home worth free. Okay. So let's go do that. How do I change that? If I click on it, nothing happens. Over here, it says text. That's how you change it. And you can say, 300 homes, homes sold in Encinitas, blah, 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 right? And you notice that whatever I type here shows up here. So now is a good, now there are so many other things that work, but what you want to be thinking of is what gets a homeowner to jump, to get excited, and to fill something out. And there are some key words that really always make sense. Online, automated, free, in less than 15 seconds. Because there's a few things in here that get people motivated. Online and automated means I don't have to talk to you. And I am positive you are all super awesome people that people love to talk to. But, we just don't want to talk to salespeople. Free is always effective. It is literally always effective. And less than 15 seconds means I'm going to get this right now. Okay, I'm going to get this answer right now. And whatever you write, you want to get those words in there, right? Because as Barb said, people get to this page and then they give the address, but then they don't go any further. I think it's mobile is the issue. But it could be that your language was just not compelling enough to say, you're going to get this now in 15 seconds. Because that's, instant answers, anything instant. We're all ADD in the US now. That's it. That's where we're driving to. So that's the kind of thing that works. If you're one of those people that are lucky, for most people in the country, inventory is tight and homes can sell really quickly. I had a friend call me and said, God, this home was in contract in 7 days. I'm like, you gotta run an ad on that. You gotta take a picture of that home and put it on and say, this home was in contract in 7 days. Click here to get your automated home value in less than 15 seconds. That is such compelling stuff because if you're thinking of selling a home, what's preventing you? Usually it is the pain in the rear that's preventing you. Right? I mean, for a lot of people, it's like, I kind of want to, but God, I just don't want to deal with it. Oh, I can get you in contract in 1 week, right? That's a compelling story. What else? I sold this for 5% or 10% above asking. I hear that story. Well, that's huge news because I want the most money I can get for my home. And if you're telling me you're selling it for higher, I want to talk to you. And the other, and I've seen it recently, and you should definitely be thinking about it now because Zillow is coming at you. I saw there's a guy out there, there's a whole team of realtors and mortgage people out here where I live that are using our tools. And across the picture where it says Encinitas, they have this really goofy yellow banner kind of thing. And it says Zestimate, right? Zestimate, the Zillow estimate. And their ad says, we got 10% over the Zillow estimate. The Zestimate price. Click here to get your value in less than 15 seconds. And if you don't know this, you know, Zillow is making a play to just take all the listings from realtors anyway. So that's all. Those are all great ideas, and there are many more. And you are going to find those ideas in our mastermind group. So get to the mastermind group. Okay, that is how you do it. When you place the ad at the bottom, Facebook will send you a message, say we're going to review this for 15 minutes, and then they'll make it live. And at the end of the ad, they will say, congratulations, you had a successful ad. And all that means is that you were able to spend money with Facebook. It doesn't mean you got any leads. For them, they're in success. They got $30 from you, right? For you, you're going to look at it. It's going to say you got this many web clicks. It's going to say two numbers that you should be aware of: reach, how many people that saw it, and then what were the web clicks. If you get something like 1 or 2 or 3 web clicks or 5, you've definitely got to work on your language and your photograph. There's something not compelling to even get people to click it. All right. If you get 100 clicks, you should have a lot of leads, right? And if you don't, get it off of mobile. That's just bottom line. But the reach that they tell you, what that says, what that means is that thousands of people saw it. And you'll notice that here it's sponsored by Listings to Leads. And that's because I'm with Listings to Leads, right? But for you, it's going to be sponsored by you, the realtor, or you, meaning live in luxury in Lodi or whatever, right? Whatever it is, you're building the brand there, and thousands of people see it. And so that's what you're after, okay? We're going to talk about, and so now I'm going to take this question here, and let's remember that I just said we're going to build the brand, because we're going to talk about building the brand next. Yeah, your auto evaluation is from Zillow, right? Yes, it is from Zillow. Yeah. Yeah. So to get the instant valuation, it is the Zillow app. And usually that makes realtors crazy all over the country, right? Oh, I hate Zillow. I know nothing to do with Zillow. All these sad stories, right? And it is true that the Zillow estimates are inaccurate. You know that, and I know that. And you know who else knows that? Zillow. And they actually, I don't know if you saw this, but last month they put out an announcement. They will give $1 million to anybody who can make it more accurate. They actually announced that in like Inman or something like that. But what you should have, first of all, I don't want you to not use that page because you are against it. I want you to use that page because it's the most effective to get seller leads. And I want you to type in on a Google search, Zestimate accuracy. And when you do that, it's going to say, you're going to see a link that says, what is a Zestimate, right? And then you click on that and you're going to see 4 buttons. How accurate is the Zestimate? And Zillow is kind enough to tell anybody that is interested, it's not very accurate at all. And it's right here. So you, trying to get more people to have a conversation with who own a home, thinking about owning a home, should have this link in your hand. Okay? If somebody wants to send me a question, I will send this link to everybody right now. If you just send me a question, then I can respond to it and I'll give you that link. This thing, when you get a response, your response should say, hey, I see you got, your home is worth 300. Does that seem right to you? Here's a link here on from Zillow saying that they're not very accurate in our area. Are you really serious? Do you need to have that? Do you need to have a real number? Because 5 to 10 to 20% off is significant for everybody, right? So when we talk about what you just saw, how to create the landing page to get seller leads, and you saw how to run that ad. Usually, for most realtors, because they're hearing all over the country, like, we're awesome because of that, right? What they fail to understand is that our clients who have the most success follow that activity I just showed you. But they also do one more thing, and I want you to be fully aware of this. They get listings in their account, even if they're an agent who doesn't have many listings. They borrow listings, and they get them in this section, which is our listing section. and they start to build the brand on Facebook so that consumers are familiar with their brand, right? And there are a couple of tools here to do that. There, you can use any tools you want, but the ones that I really like the most are the single property website. I'm going to click on the red button here, and when I click on it, you're going to see it says coming soon. I've got some cool lead gen over here, links pointing to my website. I've got a nice video over here that's going to come up any minute now. And then I got a lead capture form. Well, that's a Matterport video. It's a Matterport video. So you can snap in your Matterport if you're using that, right? But this is just a good tool, and it says I got homes coming soon, right? You can edit your listing anytime, and you can say things like it's an open house, it's just listed, it's coming soon, and it's just sold. These are 4 important events for every listing that you should be marketing. All right. And I'm going to run one real quickly here. And I'm going to show you exactly how to build that brand. The reason is that ad costs $20. You run it for 4 days. And somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people are going to see that. And if you're doing that every week, that's thousands and thousands of people that start to become aware that you're a realtor. I don't know how long any of you have been realtors. I know Barb's been doing it a while because, man, she just peppers us with questions and she's got way too much knowledge. But I don't know about the rest of you. And if you know anything, I don't know what you know about the internet. There's a couple of big stories relating to realtors and the internet that are happening right now. One is NAR is going to give a Playster website to every agent that's a member, right? And Playster is a WordPress, and WordPress is really kind of cool because it's WordPress gets favored by Google, but there's a big upsell and there's a huge learning curve, and it's not going to be as great as everybody thinks. Keller Williams is rolling out Playster as well. Same thing. Here's a nice free version. You're really going to need, a better version. It's going to cost you, and you're going to need somebody who can build that thing, because you just don't just turn it on and it builds itself. There's some steps. But all that aside, when I go look for homes for sale in Lafayette, there are thousands of agents in Lafayette, right? There are thousands. And maybe not thousands, but in the area, there are certainly thousands that manage this area. And none of those people show up on page 1 because it's all the big shops like Zillow and Realtor.com and Coldwell Banker and this and that. So you fighting on the internet is like, I think it's a real waste. There are plenty of ways to burn money, and that's a great way to burn, is just say, I'm going to pay somebody for SEO, I'm going to do this and that. Awesome. But like I said earlier, 71% of adults are on Facebook. Okay? 71% of adults in the United States are on Facebook. They are not, and they're on it for like a long time every day. The only place I think where adults are for a longer amount of time every day is the television. And if you have the budget to run ads on TV, well then by all means that's the place to be, right? But if you don't, you can spend a few $100 every month, and thousands of people are going to see it. And you build the brand. I'm going to run this ad in a second. It's really easy. And then you're going to, and that's going to give comfort level. Remember, I was showing you, I told you got to have a picture to take away that fear that, I don't even know who you are and you don't know who I am. But now this is telling me, oh, you kind of know where I am. You're in Encinitas too, right? But if you're out there saying, hey, I've got a home that's just listed, I got an open house I'm doing this weekend, this one just sold, it doesn't even have to be your property. You can pull them in, you can borrow them. That tells the market, thousands of people, that you are a realtor. And then on the weekends you say, oh, well, would you like your home value now? The people that do this, and you will see calls in our if you're poking around our webinars, you'll see Neil Wolf You'll see Melanie Banks and you'll see Shannon Pyatt, and they have all said the same exact thing. People are picking up the phone out of the blue and calling them and saying, hey, I see you all over the internet. I need to sell a home. Really what they're seeing them all over Facebook. And it's because they are taking the step that I'm showing you. So let's take that step. All right. Let's just say I want to do this. It's a just sold home. Okay. I might have borrowed this. It might not even be my home. Maybe I was the buyer's agent, right? But I'm still associated. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to get it up on Facebook and I'm going to brand. All right. I got to click over here. I see some questions. So before I start to run this ad, and I'm going to move faster on this one. Yeah, that is a good remix. Yes. I'm going to click create an ad. And I'll give it a second. And then it's a good time to ask questions. Okay, we're going to stop right here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. How do I borrow listings? You talk to your office. Oh, great. You talk to your office, or there might be some rules in the MLS. Tamara West, thanks for asking the question. I am going to copy this link for the Zillow estimate accuracy, and I'm going to paste it in this box, and I'm going to click send to all. That means you should all see this. How do we integrate Facebook tracking pixels and add to our landing? Well, that is a great question. I don't know the answer. And I think the reason why I don't know the answer is it's not something that I really think is overly, it's a fun and sexy thing to do. It doesn't change the world for our lead gen. None of my clients that are killing it are using pixels. That's just how it is. They're killing it by doing exactly what I'm showing you right now. Okay. So, and I don't want to get into it because, I mean, it's hard enough for a realtor to understand what I'm talking about right now. And I'm glad I got you laughing, Will. But pixels is, it's a whole nother, hairy deal to deal with. So, yes, you like to stalk your clients. That's right. I know. I get it. Yeah. So, okay. Where do I get this webinar, Mike? Great question. I am going to put this up online. You can follow me on YouTube, Vince Meza. But I'm also going to put it inside our mastermind group this afternoon. So you can review this. So everybody should have the Zestimate page. Keep it in your back pocket. You get a listing lead without an address, without full contact information, do it. So this one's a little bit confusing. And I'm going to explain why. This is a just sold property, single property website. And you may not know this about us, but all of our tools to market listings have lead gen at the specific time. The call to action is relevant to that particular time. When somebody clicks on a just sold ad, it actually has a Zillow estimate. It's got a lead capture built in to get a home value right there. So I would actually say run this as traffic, but I want to explain this the right way. So let's just take an active listing. This is a home that's for sale. This could be a home that's open house. It could be a virtual tour of a home, but this one here, it's just for sale. Nice and vanilla, right? Nice and easy. And I want to brand with this. I might borrow this from another agent. And then I put down here in the notes, this listing is courtesy of that agent. And then I go here and I don't use traffic, I use lead generation, okay? And I want you to understand this because I'm going to just say for sale, Encinitas, and whatever the date is, right? June. And continue. Remember, nobody sees the campaign name, only you. I'm going to put it on the right page. And that is my listings to leads. Remember, if you're going to build a brand, telling people, you want to run your seller stuff on the same page. Now, here, we're in Encinitas. Remember, we did this earlier. Here's where one of the key differences is. The first one is we want lead generation, not traffic. This one, it's telling me 25 miles. I might want people 25 miles to know. Now I can see, I don't know Encinitas, and I'm pretty sure traffic down in SoCal is just a nightmare. So maybe I don't do business 25 miles out. Maybe 10 miles out is good for me. So I just changed that radius there. But the point is, you want more people to see it. Again, you probably don't want to be talking to a lot of 18-year-olds, so you choose your age. You could get fancy in demographics, again, that could just hurt you. But here's the other difference. Remember where I clicked on edit placements and I said mobile only? Now it's all devices, because now I just want people to see my name. When they're standing in line at Starbucks, when they're in a webinar like you are right now looking at Facebook, when you're driving your car looking at Facebook, I want people to see I'm a realtor. And that's why you want all devices, including mobile. Change it always to lifetime budget. Only make it 20 bucks. And run your ad for 4 days. It's going to start today. I'm going to end it on Saturday. Okay? That's perfect time for your open house, right? And click continue. And single image ad. And you can add an image of the home. You don't even need to, you can just put a picture of the home. It's putting something up there. But also write your text, right? Whatever's compelling. If it's an open house, if it's a nice home with a new upgraded kitchen, you got to get some words in there to get people to do that. But the real power of this is down here. And you got to create your form, but you can see here, I want my email, I want the full name, and I want the phone number. And the reason you want to use lead generation with getting buyers is Facebook has everybody's email and their full name and their phone number. So when they click submit, their contact information is already in it. Okay? They don't have to type it in. It's there. All I got to do is click submit. And so you get really great buyer lead gen that way. It's not effective when trying to get sellers, but it's very effective when you're trying to build a brand and get buyers. So everybody, that's my story. It is 11:01. Are there any questions for me? I'm going to give you one more really fascinating tip or fact about Facebook and what you got to think about Facebook. So a lot of you, I guess, have a smartphone, right? I have a smartphone, and I think, I don't know, it's more than half of the country has a smartphone, okay? And of all the time on the internet from smartphones in the United States, 30% of that time is spent on Facebook, all right? So please really think about moving Facebook higher up in the level of where you need to market and where you need to build your presence in real estate. Because it ain't the phone book anymore. Maybe I don't know if you've got the time and you want a sandwich board out in front of the local grocery store, that's cool too. But Facebook is where people are. All right? I'm going to take this recording. I'm going to put it up on our page in our mastermind group. Thank you so much for your questions. And please hold on to that Zestimate page and keep fine tuning it. Oh, one other thing. If you're new to us and you go to the landing page section and you've got like 5 or 6 areas, get good at targeting one area. Many of you will, if you go to our mastermind, you're going to see people go, oh, I ran an ad, but I got nothing. I got an ad, I got 1 or 2 or 3. And then you get other people who's like, I got 20 and 30 leads. When you start to get 20 and 30 leads in that one specific area, then go out and reach into the multiple other areas that you're trying to target, that you want to build your business in. Do not go out shotgunning out into 5 different areas. Get good with a rifle approach in your one target, and then expand and grow from there. Yeah, okay, I got another question. Thanks for the info. You're welcome, Will. Okay, Barb, I'm glad you like that, Barb. You know a lot of stuff, so if you're getting value, I'm psyched. Everybody, thanks so much. Again, have a great week. Use our mastermind group. Lean on our support page. Thank you, Patty. Patty, if you look for me, Vincent Meza, in YouTube, I'll show you what it looks like. I have done a lot of classes in Naples. I was actually just there. And you will see me talking about all the areas and oh, that's great. What's that? Music Naples, Florida. Oh, no. My channel here. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here, and you can kind of scroll through and you'll see, I talk about Facebook a lot, but some of them actually have to do with Naples. So you might want to go check that out if you feel. But it's the same sort of thing, right? Okay, everybody. Thanks again. Have a great day. I'll get this up ASAP. Okay? Bye-bye. You want to have that? Dude, I'm Warriors. What are you talking about? We're about to clean this thing up. Okay, everybody. Uh, talk to you soon.